be the security guy. He claimed he was a security guy.
All right. Welcome to a sub-zero version of Security Guy Radio in beautiful Chicago with Adam Harvey of Guard Llama.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
It's actually Adam Havey.
Havey,
but
I'm sorry.
I get Harvey the majority of the time, about 95% of the time.
Well-
But you got Guard Llama right, and that's really the
I
important
apologize.
thing.
Of course, Harold, do you think they get that name right?
Yeah.
They actually call me Harvey.
Oh,
Chuck
really?
Harvey all the time.
Oh, so
Chuck
we're
Howard.
in
so
the same boat.
I apologize.
Yeah.
It's been a long drive from Los Angeles.
I get it.
And it's freaking cold here.
It's freezing, yeah. It's like negative 27 this morning with the wind chills.
Yes,
so.
it got down to 2, but it's a toasty 10 right now. So I'm very happy to have
warming
a heat
up,
wave.
which is nice, yeah.
So we've been trying to do an interview with you
Nino.
guys for about maybe at least a year, right?
Yeah,
This
it's
year,
been
last
going on a year, yeah.
Trying to get it done, didn't happen.
Mhm.
Now I'm finally here. So let's talk about Guard Llama. What is Guard Llama?
So Guard Llama is actually a personal emergency response system. So in the event of emergency, you just tap our Bluetooth remote 2 times and send your GPS location, security profile, and medical information to our dispatch center, and we dispatch the nearest police officer.
That's cool. Now, is that considered a wearable?
It goes on your keychain. It can go on
Okay.
it can go on a belt loop or a necklace. We are currently trying to stay away from the wearables because we don't want to compete in that market. You
Right.
know?
This is very unique that way.
Exactly, yeah. And a lot of the people we sell to, we focus a lot on the real estate market, and they always have 2 things in their hands, which is their keys and their cell phone.
Right.
So it works really well.
Oh, because if I'm going out showing a house, I don't know who's coming, maybe.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
it could be,
Yeah.
John Wayne Gacy. Don't you have a lot of those mass murderers here in Chicago? That's kind of famous for that.
It's kind of famous for being
It is.
cold and having mass murders. Yeah.
Right. So that's a perfect development.
Yeah.
Perfect out of Chicago.
Yeah, we have Italian beef too. So.
So where'd you come up with this idea? What's the inspiration behind this? What's your background?
So
and stuff?
I actually have a security background.
Do you?
My dad started a security company before I was born with my grandpa.
Oh, what was the name of it?
It was Young Security. So
Okay.
he's actually still got it. It's in Springfield, Illinois.
Is he a retired police officer?
No, he was. He went from college straight to work with.
How
my,
interesting, okay.
Yeah, with my grandpa into it. And this was back in. They were originally an appliance store, and then they did appliance and security systems when they first came out in
Right.
the early '80s, and they were starting to gain popularity.
Sure, that was very
And then,
very new back then.
Yeah, and then once the big box stores came, they just totally went security, and made a good bit of money from it. And my grandpa was actually about to go national with it, and had it all set up, was going to beat ADT to the punch.
Oh,
but
interesting.
Unfortunately, he passed away in a car accident. But everything was there to set up. It was just, had distributors ready, had
Yeah.
all the paperwork for the salespeople ready. It was probably like 6 months away from being the first ADT.
Oh, how interesting.
Yeah.
So you grew up around this stuff. You get it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, with that background, and then some experiences in college. So we went to, me and my co-founders, Dom and Joe, we went to Northern Illinois University from 2006 to 2010. So during that time, there was, some instances that happened that kind of changed the way that we had viewed the world.
On campus or
on
just in
campus.
general? Okay.
On campus. So in 2008, there was a Valentine's Day shooting on campus.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I remember that. Right.
And I was actually a building away from that, and came outside and saw, kind of that scene. It was like a war zone. People had buckshot in their legs. People were bleeding. Everybody was crying. It was really crazy. Helicopters started coming. So that was obviously a life-changing event. And then in 2010, there was a young woman by the name of Toni Keller, and she was a freshman art student. And she went to do some sketching in a local park. And this was only a block away from our house. And that day she was kidnapped, she was raped, and she was murdered. And this had happened in the middle of the day. And what's the most bizarre about this is she had her cell phone with her. That's actually how they identified her body before they could do the DNA on it.
Okay.
And when we looked at this, we saw this huge problem that when people need help, in a real emergency situation, you don't have time to reach in your pocket to dial 911. You don't have time to sit on the phone for 2.5 minutes answering a series of questions about yourself, that don't
Right.
change. It's
Or
your-
you can't open up your mobile app and say, I think I'll hold on. I have to push the panic button on the mobile app. Right.
Absolutely. And
Right.
it's crazy because this idea has been around for so long with like a life alert or a first alert.
It's been around a long time. And people have gone to the app where you start walking across campus and you push a button and you hold it.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you release the button, that's the panic, which that makes a lot of sense. However, Wi-Fi networks being what they are on campuses. I mean, I couldn't get the GoPro going on my phone in here.
Yeah, and
because the Wi-Fi interference, right?
And we have amazing Wi-Fi, and it's
Right.
You're exactly right. We see a lot of those apps, and they're really kind of feel-good apps. In a situation, you don't want to have to be like forcefully interact with this. We are very passive. We're always with you. It's on your keychain or it's on your purse. It's on your belt loop in your pocket. We don't want you to have to actively think about it. I don't feel like that gives peace of mind at all.
No.
It's like I have to keep my thumb on this, and I have to, be completely prepared. If somebody calls me or somebody texts me, like I have to ignore it. And those
Well, by the way,
apps-
doing that, you are dividing your attention and not paying attention to your environment because
Absolutely.
you're focusing on the phone. So that's
Yeah.
very insightful.
Yeah, and we see, it's just kind of a cheap solution to, a very expensive problem.
Right.
You look at that, and it's because these companies, they didn't want to take the time to create hardware that can work with these applications, because that was one of our biggest hurdles, was creating a completely new piece of hardware to work with a phone in a way that no other device ever has.
Is that unique?
It's incredibly unique. So we actually work through a lock screen, a Bluetooth device that opens up your phone and activates a button inside an app. It's something nobody else has ever done.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah. So it's.
So is it an API?
No, it's not an API.
Application Platform Interform for my nieces and nephews, which means it's the app of apps. It's an app that runs apps, basically, is the way to describe it. Yeah.
Yeah. So like you can give your API to somebody to use your framework. Or,
Right. So this is
use
not an
your
API,
technology.
and it's well, what's the technology then? Is it completely different technology?
Yeah. It's so it works.
Don't give away your secrets. I don't want any losses, right? But your app, your Bluetooth device can open up and call people, open up your phone, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So it
And
actually.
so you don't have to do anything to this except keep it on.
Yep. Just keep it.
What
on.
if it's locked?
It works through the lock screen.
Okay, fabulous. All right.
Which we see a lot of competitors that do have hardware. Maybe 10% of them have devices, but they don't open the application through
Right.
a lock screen. And how many people don't have a lock screen on their phone? I would say 90% of people have that.
Exactly, right.
So if it doesn't work through a lock screen, then it doesn't work.
Right.
Yeah. So that was really, the Tony Keller incident was really the inspiration for that, for Guard Llama. And actually on our boards, so if you look at our hardware devices, these remotes right here.
Yeah, you put it up to the camera. We'll show them one, but you can go really close on that.
Oh,
Yeah. It looks just like a keychain fob.
Yeah,
Very simple.
We actually worked with the YWCA for the form factor, for the color, because we wanted to help. Originally, we were targeting very heavily sexual assault and domestic violence survivors.
Good point.
So you see in a domestic violence situation, if you were to bring in a wearable, if you were to bring in, that smart jewelry, if you were to bring in really anything, they're going to see that and they're going to say, what the hell is that?
The suspect's going to know about it, right?
Because they control their lives completely.
Exactly.
But if they see this,
that?
the odds are you're not going to think anything of it.
It looks like your remote, more or less. Yeah.
Yeah, it just
Or
looks,
it looks like
a key fob.
it could be that, or it could be a flash drive.
Yeah.
Very similar to stuff you carry around.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've gotten miniature flashlight before too. It just doesn't look like a security device.
Right.
But yeah, that was the idea behind making it as discreet as possible. So we're really proud of that.
Now you had Dan and Grandpa's business still around, still in the works. Did you utilize that background and knowledge for the manufacturing? Because you already got manufacturers that were
Yeah.
working in this place.
Well, we didn't use it so much for the manufacturing. It was as we did the monitoring. So they actually
Okay.
own a monitoring company as well down in Springfield, Illinois, called A&A Telemessaging. They've been around for 30 years, and they've done Philips Lifeline. They've done Life Alert.
Oh,
they
interesting.
do
All right.
security calls. So it was really just a no-brainer for integration. They had everything that we needed in terms of monitoring, and we also gave them, an extra outlet for revenue and to be able to grow with us. So that was really cool, helping my family business grow through my business.
Now I'm going to assume this is not local. It's monitored through that call center,
Yeah.
but it's national.
It's national,
Okay.
so it works in all 50 states.
And how does because you have your phone connectivity. So we're piggybacking on a wireless network, which is then calling a call center, and the call center has protocols set up that says if this button goes off, something's gone to crap.
Yeah.
This isn't a pre-button. This isn't I might have a problem. This is I have a serious problem.
Yeah.
And we're rolling the police because a lot of apps ask you for verification.
Yeah.
They ask for a double tap. They ask for a password to say, okay, I'm okay. Some apps are clever. Let's say the bad guy takes it away, and he's going to turn the phone off. And when they do that, it takes a picture of the bad guy and sends out an email.
Yeah.
So those are good features too.
Yeah, those are nice features as well. Yeah.
But you just have to be able to get that people rolling to. Now, let me ask you a question on this. It dials the police. That's unique. Most apps don't do that.
It doesn't dial.
I'm sorry.
dial
What I mean,
police.
the apps that the call center does.
Yeah. So we only do police. We see again a lot of other applications do the friends and family alert.
A lot of those, yeah.
And again, that's kind of not really like tackling the situation. I feel like that's a cheap way out.
Well, it's a different way. So I'll disagree with you a little bit. Let's say this is a very specific thing. This is, help Mr. Wizard, 911, let's roll. Other apps are, here's an example. My daughter goes out to a party a couple weeks ago. A concert. Going by herself, that's fine. Where are you going to go? Oh, go to Henry Fonda Theater, everything's fine, and I'll give you a call. She always does. She's a good girl. She always calls in. Well, this day she didn't call in.
No.
Didn't text us, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm going, uh-oh. And I'm driving around every police station. Make long story short, she went to a party afterwards and, had a little much to drink and fell asleep and everything was okay. But it was a big panic, right?
Yeah.
Some of these other apps are for that. In other words, she didn't reach the destination she set on time, and it automatically says start looking at 1 o'clock in the morning instead of 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And then there's some notifications to people let her know she's okay. So those are good.
Yeah.
And those wouldn't be the same as a panic because they automatically dial people, but they're not going to automatically dial the police and say your daughter's missing because the police are going to say that's nice, so are 20,000 other people.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
So this is very specific to I need help right this second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually built it alongside several chiefs of police and police officers. And one of the reasons we don't do the friends and family alert, it puts actually a lot of stress on the 911 system. So it doesn't just send out one text message to one person.
That's right.
It sends it out to your top 5, in some situations your top 10 contacts. And then you have all these people dialing in for the same thing, not really knowing anything about the situation, not knowing the process to go through.
Good point.
And they're in a panicked state.
That's right.
So one of the biggest things when someone is in an emergency is time.
I'm glad you said that. The thing that keeps you the most safe in any security model is time.
Exactly.
It's not fortification. The Great Wall of China is obsolete,
Yeah.
right? But when they built it, it took a long time to get over that wall or through that wall, and that gives you time to respond as the defense, right?
Yeah.
So this is critical. Most people forget that in their security modeling. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Absolutely, yeah. So we really focus on how can we get somebody there with knowledge to handle a situation, regardless of what it is, the fastest.
And it's one button. It's not a double tap. It's not I have to hold it down. It's if you hit that.
It is actually a double tap.
Okay, all right, that's
and
okay.
It's 2 taps within 1 second, which is
Right.
pretty easy to do. It gives haptic feedback, so it'll vibrate in your hand once you press it and once you actually activate an alarm, which is really cool.
Now, if you only pushed it once, does it go into some kind of check system where it says, you know what, I got one activation, maybe I better call them or something like that?
No, it doesn't do it for
Okay.
one tap.
I'm just thinking if you were panicked and you pushed it and you got punched in the nose and you couldn't push it twice, I don't know. But
We've actually had quite a few people use it in a panic situation.
let's talk about an application. Tell me some success story on something like that.
So there was a woman that was a longtime customer in New Orleans. That she was at a grocery store with her daughter, and when she was leaving, she's in a poor neighborhood, and we actually, at first she had started calling to work with Guard Llama, and she was, I think she was a 65-year-old woman, and she's actually really awesome. Her name is Jazara. She's down in New Orleans. She'll probably love that I called her out right now. But she was leaving a grocery store in a poor area in New Orleans, and she was approached by a man. And the man pushed the daughter down or hit her in the face, and then tried to rob Jazara, our customer. She was able to tap the button, and the police were there in under a minute and a half.
Really?
Arrested
Wow.
the man and took them both to the hospital.
That's fabulous.
Yeah. So, don't know what it could have been, but that's a good thing.
Now, let me ask you this. How did you get over the hurdle of getting a call center to contact police immediately. Now, I got panic buttons in all my bedrooms.
Yeah.
And if I hit one of those by accident, what's the first thing that the alarm company does?
Yeah,
They call
they'll
me.
give you a call.
Really? You're
Yeah.
calling me? I
Yeah.
mean, what if I'm being raped and robbed?
Yeah, well, so actually,
See what I'm saying?
so we have a automated dispatch call.
Okay.
So we give you a call first. Our dispatchers can see that you're in an emergency, and if you don't answer that call, you don't enter your dispatch code. So it's an automated dispatcher. They're going to call, say, "Hey, this is the Guard Llama system."
Oh, it's the system calling you. Okay.
Yeah,
That's faster. That's good.
It's much faster
like
than
instant.
waiting. Yeah,
Right.
it's instant. You get a call within 5 seconds.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. So
And then no response.
if you miss that call,
No response. It's
no response.
Is it
police are on
auto
their
dialing the
way.
police, or does it patch it to a person?
It
then?
patches it to our dispatcher, and we
Okay.
can see, based on your area, the nearest public safety answering point. So we're able to dispatch an officer from that. And our dispatchers are so familiar with dispatching the police from
Your
security systems,
experience.
modern security systems, a lot of experience. So they're able to reduce that time from a dispatch by up to 50%.
Oh,
which
that's
is-
fabulous.
Yeah, so it's much faster.
Now, how do you get over the 911 technicality? I mean, I remember when 911 came out in the 80s, we thought that was magic, by the way. I had a beeper, and that was magic. You probably remember beepers. They called them beepers.
Yeah, no,
All they did is show your
yeah.
phone number. It's like, wow, look at that.
Yeah.
911, and then what happened was we would get, a call for 911, and the guy was literally calling from Colorado.
Yeah.
Some glitch. There's some glitches, right?
Really?
Yeah, there
I've
was
never
just
heard of
weird things in the beginning that didn't quite work out, and we had to reprogram, but for the most part it worked, right? But that system is not really, and I know some dispatchers, right? My friend Donna is a dispatcher. She's been 30 years. She's been a dispatcher, Culver City PD.
Oh, nice.
She knows everything about it, right? And she says, the 911 has not kind of come up to 21st century technology. It works, but nobody really said, what's the latest version of that?
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how you know what the closest police station is. Is it based on the GPS first? That would make sense, because the 911
Yeah.
locating is not quite the same.
You're absolutely right, and that's actually one of the largest problems with dialing 911 because it's based off cell phone towers. So
Right.
a lot of times, one of the more popular cases happened, I think, just a little over a year ago, where a woman called 911 and she was transferred to the wrong police station.
Yeah, exactly.
She was in a river, and she was trapped in her car. She was in a river. She was able to dial 911. She had her kid in the back. It took the police, I think, between 30 and 40 minutes to get to her because they were looking at the wrong part of the river.
Did she make it?
She didn't know where she was. She died.
How sad.
The toddler made it, though.
Well, that's good.
So you see situations like that, and it's
Yeah.
just something that, is so easy to, solve with a system like Guard Llama.
So your GPS is the accuracy part, not
yeah.
triangulation, which is what it is, right?
Yeah,
It's
and triangulation takes a little while.
And it's
a lot of
weak
people
and-
think it's like it's in Hollywood.
No,
and,
no, not
the
even.
dispatcher is hitting a few keys on the keyboard, and they're like, "This is where they're at." But it takes between 30 and 45 minutes to actually get the call the cell phone carrier, get the GPS location, and it's off triangulation of cell
Right.
phone towers, so it's only accurate within 300 meters, which in a
That's
situation
a big space.
it's a
300
huge space. In Chicago, you could be at literally 20,000 different places.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, your device, small, is it rechargeable? Runs on rechargeable batteries?
It's not rechargeable. So
regular cells?
We went with the idea, the key fob on your car. When was the last time you replaced the batteries in that?
As a matter of fact, about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, there you go. How long did you have?
Funny
it
you should
for?
ask that question. it was probably a year. They go about a year.
Oh, see,
Then they start getting weak, and you kind of go, well, because you're always pushing it all day long.
Ours
Right?
go right about 5 years.
I would guess, because you're not really pushing it that often.
Yeah, hopefully.
Right.
Yeah, if you are, then
You should move.
Yeah, you should get out of wherever you're at.
Exactly. Well, it's a funny question, but have you had people who pushed it more than once so far? Lightning striking twice?
No, we haven't had
That's
anybody
good.
press them more
Okay.
than once, twice.
That's
Yeah,
good. All right.
yeah.
And successfully. They're located and they're saved and stuff.
Yeah. We have had, in some situations, I think with any security device, you're going to get false alarms.
Sure.
So, we had somebody that was showing how it works, and then they forgot that we give you a call. They're like, yeah, and they're like, it works. The police are here, but I don't need them. I'm sorry. And it's just, some situation like that where somebody's like showing their
Right.
buddy. So we've had a couple of those.
Any charges associated with certain municipalities if this is false? Because I have so
There-
many
yeah.
false alarms in Burbank, I get a bill.
Yeah, yeah. There's we haven't had a situation like that because we have had so few false alarms, which is awesome for a security
Right.
device. Because you look at home security systems, and 95% of those calls are false alarms.
I always leave my garage door open, it blows open, and when I'm at the store and I'm in trouble, yeah, I know.
Yeah, yeah. So there's we haven't had a fee associated with it yet. I'm sure if we do get a lot of false alarms in an area, we will have to pay a fee.
The
just like any other
municipality
security
probably
company.
would, but I mean, you know
Yeah.
what? It's worth it in case
Absolutely.
it turns out to be real. you
Yeah,
know.
for sure.
So, how long has Guard Llama been live and running?
So
Because I
Guard
saw you a
Llama-
year ago.
Yeah, so we've been, the company's been around for about 3 years now. We got out of beta testing and we went completely live to the public in August. So
Oh, really? That recent?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that was when you're dealing with a life-saving product, it's really tough
It's got to work.
because it has to work every time. So any tiny bug that could potentially on the millionth press, mess something up, like you have to go in there and you have to completely redo it.
Now, tell me about the approval process for this. What does this go through that needs to be approval? I mean, it is a serious thing. So,
Yeah.
is this? What regulatory agencies do you have to jump through hoops on to get that to
You
work?
FCC for the device. There's not too much in the way of regulations in the mobile personal emergency response
Okay.
system community. Some people say it's like the wild wild west. I'm sure there will be some regulations. at
Eventually,
some
it'll all
point.
be regulated, right?
Yeah.
But FCC, because it's wireless, it just falls under kind of it's kind of treated like not a cell phone, but it's treated in that area.
Yeah.
It's wireless compliance, has to do certain things and certain frequencies and distances and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What's the range on something like this?
So
Because I will tell you, driving Highway 55 from Dallas to Missouri, which I was supposed to be on, 57, I was supposed to be on 55. And I was in the middle of the friggin' Oklahoma forest. I don't know where the hell I was. And I had no cell phone coverage. And this is Verizon, supposedly.
Yeah.
Don't turn my phone off, all right? But you got a couple places in Oklahoma that don't work. Okay. So I'm assuming you're going to have to be around some, towers and access.
Yeah,
And,
so,
and you're probably
you
at a
know-
campground, not going to have a problem.
Yeah.
It's going to be city. But
Absolutely. So, I mean, it works off your cell phone. So, if your cell phone doesn't work at all, if you don't have
your signal's
any
not working.
reception,
Right.
you don't have any data, if you don't have Wi-Fi, nothing can work on your phone. And what we do is we have to grab your GPS location. So, if we can't grab your GPS location, then we can't help you.
Okay.
Luckily, when you press it, it puts itself in a queue, so it'll constantly, as soon as
That's
it
a great
as soon-
idea.
Yeah, as soon
In
as
case,
it
yeah.
gets a little bit of data,
Okay.
just one byte, it can send your GPS location.
All right, so I've had nothing but trouble with my phone the last 2 weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
It dials things. The A key doesn't work. The enter
Yeah.
button doesn't work. Sometimes I have to turn off the GPS because it sucks up a lot of power. I'm changing. You know how those things go, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, is this smarter than my phone? And is it going to, turn my GPS on for me? Or do I have to make sure that those things are up and running?
You do have to make sure your GPS is on.
Okay, so that's something very important to make sure
so
people understand.
With the phones these days, if you leave your GPS and Bluetooth on, that's Bluetooth 4.0. It's low energy, BLE 4.0.
Okay.
So it doesn't drain any battery. And
That's
if
good.
somebody says it does, then they don't know what they're talking about.
Okay, so Bluetooth is, I thought it did,
No,
frankly.
yeah, but
Yeah.
a lot of people do. But
Well, my device goes dead, but that's this
Yeah.
device. That's not the wireless coming out of
exactly.
there.
So if you're actively using it, using the phone through a Bluetooth device, obviously that's going to drain the battery. But if you're not using a Bluetooth device, like something like a Guard Llama, it's something that's just sitting in the background. It's not draining any battery. The location services drain very little battery as well because they don't actively track you; they cache your location. So,
All right, makes sense.
That's how they know. I'm sure you've seen. It'll tell you like 30 minutes to home or 20 minutes to home.
Exactly,
And it's
right.
like, how the hell do you know where my home is? And they base that off of how much time you spend there.
Very interesting, okay.
So it caches your location. And if you're there, every day from, 9 p.m. to 8 a.m., they're like, that's probably home.
No, Adam just gave us a very good secret, wives. Just so you know, if you look at the hubby's phone and it says home, that might not be the place he spends the most time. Just remember that. All right, so it's either GPS is on or Bluetooth is on. Either one will pick it up and work it.
Yeah.
Okay. This is really cool.
Yeah.
It's the only one like it.
It's the only one that does everything that we do. Yeah.
Okay. Fabulous. What's it cost? Subscription per month?
So
or?
the subscription per month is $15, and it's $150 a year. So when you look at other security systems, or really anything with monitoring,
Right.
We're coming in incredibly cheap. So
That's very reasonable.
You're looking at $30 to $60 just to monitor your home, and that's easy.
Right.
That's stationary. We do.
Now, does that
mobile.
include? Do you get this with it, or do you have to buy this separately, or what?
So you do have to buy that separately.
Okay.
So I'd like to do a deal for your listeners.
Oh, Security Guy Radio discount?
Yes,
All
Security
right.
Guy Radio
Excellent.
discount. If you enter Security Guy Radio into our promo code, we'll give you 50% off the entire system.
Oh, that's
So-
fabulous, including the device.
including the device.
That's
so
fabulous.
$99.95.
Gets you up and running for a year.
Get you actually, yeah. We'll honor that price next year too, for as long as you're on the system.
$99. You get the
$99.
device. You get a subscription every year for $99 instead of $150.
$150.
That's a good deal.
It's a really good deal.
All right,
yeah,
excellent.
Especially for 24/7 monitoring. I implore you to find a better one.
And we don't have to worry about downloading an app to work with this. Is that correct?
So you do have to download an app.
You do,
the
okay.
app is it's very small, only a couple megabytes.
Okay.
So it downloads very quickly. You can download it off Wi-Fi. Probably have it downloaded in 10 seconds.
It's passive in the background. I don't have to set it or do anything to it. It's just ready to
Exactly.
go.
Yeah. So it's not an incredibly interactive app. So you can go in, you can change your profile. If you forgot your remote, you can hit the button inside the application. So we have a button inside there as well. And we also have the feature where if you hold it down, the dead man switch essentially.
On the phone itself, if you wanted to use it that way.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Like we
which
just talked
don't-
about earlier.
Yeah. Which
okay.
so we don't want you to do that. We want you to use the device.
Right.
I mean, that's what it's there for.
Well, my daughter would lose it. Right.
Yeah.
So if I until we get another one, that's a good little backup to have.
yeah, that's why you put it
Right.
on her keychain or her purse immediately.
Yeah.
You say, put this right there. I'm going to watch you do it.
She won't. Megan, are you going to wear one of these? Are you going to carry this? You won't, will you, honey? I know.
It's pretty fashionable. I think you might.
It's very cool. Very cool. Well, she's a nurse, right? So
Oh, is she? My
She
sister's
can get in a
nurse, too.
situation where somebody gets weird or frisky or some kind of crap.
Yeah.
So I can see this being used in a lot of places. I can see this for security guards because there's always been products on the market to help find out where security guards are
Yep.
for two reasons. One, so they're not sleeping. We all know that. Two, safety.
Yeah.
You're on patrol, 3 o'clock in the morning, something happens. How do we know what happened? So this is awesome. The problem with the GPS, the old GPS devices, is it was trying to get the GPS signal on your phone.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, sometimes in a building, sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I think now it's a lot better because now the GPS piggies with Wi-Fi, piggybacks, where it didn't before.
Yeah.
It was straight Wi-Fi signal. I mean, a straight GPS signal. So if I'm in a building, I'm going to assume these are working. Am I correct?
You're very correct.
Because of
yes.
that sharing of the technology and the platform. So you got Bluetooth to work it, you got GPS and GPS working with Wi-Fi for location
Yeah.
services.
And it's actually really interesting when you look at how GPS is working inside buildings now. So,
Yeah, how is it working?
We were over at 1871 here in Chicago. It's a incubator down in the Merchandise Mart, and we hit this, and it showed us not only our elevation, so that we were on the 12th floor, but also showed us exactly where we were in this room. And
Wow.
it's basing it off all these other, like Bluetooth or Wi-Fi touch points, so it can like hone in on us very
Right.
easily. And 1871 is obviously an exception because they have tons of technology.
In there, right.
Yeah.
But
tons of stuff
almost
down there.
everybody has public Wi-Fi or something somewhere.
Yeah, so it's it's a lot easier to pinpoint people exactly where they are in a building, and that's only going to become better as we move on.
So I like the real estate model because you're showing a house and you don't know what's going to happen, and you push that button. I like the guard model, public safety, search and rescue, maybe.
Potentially search and rescue.
Even Griffith Park in L.A. is a big giant park. It's like Central Park, but you're still surrounded by the city. I mean, you got a signal almost everywhere, but you fall down, something happens, bam.
Absolutely.
And if it keeps hitting your phone until some signal comes up, that's good. What are some other people that want to use this?
So
but we've got college students. That's an obvious one.
So it's interesting because there's so many people that need this.
I want to focus on professions first, and then because any individual should have this. That's a no-brainer, right? But I could see groups of people as a group benefiting from something
Absolutely,
like this.
yeah. So we look at, as you said, nurses. That's a big one for us. College students, sororities. We also see a lot of movement from taxi drivers. So like Uber or
Uber.
Lyft drivers or taxi drivers. So we have a partnership with some taxi associations. Runners are really big too.
Oh, by the way, let's go back to Uber real quick. So I push this button because I got a guy with a gun at the back of my head, and he's had me drive somewhere. Is it following me?
Yeah, so
It's
updates,
tracking me.
Yeah, it updates every 3 seconds. So on our dispatch side, you can actually see a line of where this person is traveling.
Oh, great.
So we'll say, they're headed down Milwaukee Avenue. You should head them off here, to meet them there. This is what he looks like. If he has his cab information in the notes, the profile, then we'll pass that along too. But there are panic buttons, or there were panic buttons in taxis in Chicago. I think maybe only 10, 15 years ago.
Right.
But what they did is when you tap the panic button, the light on top of the
old
on top of the
technology,
cab.
but still works.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you see that, and you had to install some serious hardware into a taxi to do that, and there's probably $2,500 to $3,000 just to get a flashing light on your car.
Wow, that's
and this
amazing.
is only for your show, $100 a year, so it's definitely cost effective.
That's amazing. What other groups of people might want to use it?
So really, we're focusing again very, very heavily on real estate. That's our primary market right now.
I talked to another guy who had an app that was kind of similar and very heavy in real estate. I guess there's a lot of violence going on in real estate we don't know about or something.
It's really surprising. So
That's
we
interesting.
just graduated from a accelerator called the NAR REACH program, the National Association of Realtors REACH program, and they really give us a lot of knowledge on the real estate market. And we saw all these safety surveys, and we had heard these heartbreaking stories of these people that got in a situation where they were showing a house and they were in a basement and they ended up being like tied up and raped and robbed. And then you see murders as well. There's actually a case going on right now with the woman was called Beverly Carter. That was her name, and the case just now is coming to light. So just now the guy is he's obviously pleading not guilty,
Right.
When he said he had done it before, but that's all over the news right now. And that was really kind of what woke everybody in the real estate industry up. Chris Polycron, the NAR president, for 2015, that was his main goal, was make the real estate market much safer.
Interesting.
So I think there's been 170 homicides since 2003. So it's
Is that nationwide or locally?
nationwide.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. You never hear about those.
No, you don't. Yeah. Well.
Well, the industry doesn't want to broadcast that there's
Absolutely.
not
Yeah.
good for
But
business.
everybody's aware of it. So
Yeah.
you ask any realtor, every realtor we've asked, they've either been in a really uncomfortable situation or they've been in a violent situation.
Yeah, uncomfortable. I can imagine. Sure. I mean, I'd push that for uncomfortable. It's
for sure.
it's an assault. It's it's a precursor. I mean,
Yeah.
why bother
Absolutely.
worrying about it?
Yeah.
So, any training that you go over with police departments on this? Here's what I'm thinking. I probably shouldn't even say this. I have a deviant mind. I come up with some crazy crap, right?
Mhm.
But if I'm really evil, I might push this just to get somebody in trouble.
Yeah.
Push it, throw it in their car. See you later, honey. Have a good day at work.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get pulled over at code 3 with guns going, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah.
Because all you see is one guy driving.
Mhm.
Where's the body? The cops are going to think there's a body in the trunk because
Yeah.
why would this guy just be driving along with his panic button? I don't know. I'm just saying.
No, that's
Something to think
I
about.
guess I really haven't thought about that. I've definitely thought of the prank side, which is why
how do you handle
we,
the prank? What do you think about that?
So we haven't seen anybody do it for a prank. I think the people that we sell to they're typically 18 and above. We're looking at the high school market and potentially the middle school market, but we just don't think the maturity level is there.
Okay. I could see this in classrooms, though. I mean, a teacher
Yeah.
in an active shooter situation,
You're
if I
absolutely
could
right.
find where she is,
Yeah.
that's helpful as a first responder.
That's incredibly,
Yeah.
That's incredibly helpful. So one of the first things in an active shooter situation, again, is making sure you're safe first before you can do anything. But with this, you can call police at the same time as you're ensuring your
There's
own
a huge
safety.
delay in active shooting situations, but a couple reasons. I mean, one is if I'm getting shot at, I'm not exactly getting on my phone.
Yeah.
Right? I'm running around. I'm assuming somebody else is calling. Usually they do, right?
Yeah.
But when the first responders get there, there's a lot of confusion about where I need to go, put my resources to stop this guy.
Yeah, and there's a lot of misinformation.
Yeah, and I mean, if I'm pushing this, it's not because I'm probably at the gymnasium across the campus.
Mhm.
It's probably because somebody's in my class or down the hall or doing something, right?
Absolutely.
And if enough people did it, you would actually get some kind of a triangulation pattern, frankly.
Yeah, you could see right where it was.
Maybe-
See the epicenter of it.
Maybe they're surrounding
Yeah.
because there's a ring around somebody in the middle that's doing the shooting. So that's a great application. I can see
Yeah,
that.
that would be, so We've actually talked to a few schools about doing something like that. Just
They're kinda
arming the
reluctant, though.
teachers, arming the faculty. They are a little bit reluctant.
Yeah.
Well, everybody's reluctant to admit that they have a problem or could
They don't want to
have
say,
a-
"Oh,
have
what
a
do I have this
potential
for?" Because
problem.
do you think a shooter's going to come in here? Well, I don't. Why bother thinking
Yeah.
about it? Which we
But
have
now
something we can
it's-
do.
And that's unfortunately it's so common. I feel like we see it one every 3 months.
There's actually one almost every day somewhere in the world.
Uh-huh.
But here's the interesting thing about those. And I can't remember the exact number, so don't write. No, I take that back. Do write me letters because at least I know you're watching. But if I get this wrong, it's not too far off. The FBI says an active shooter is A, B, and C, and it means something like somebody comes in here and shoots, but they only shoot one guy, and he doesn't die. Well, it's not. That's not an active shooter to them.
Okay.
Got to have some bodies. You got to have some deaths, a certain number, and plus it's a weird calculation. Or anybody that walks in a workplace and shoots a gun, to me, that's active workplace violence.
Yeah, that's an active shooter.
But they do their stats, right? So there is actually almost one every day around the world somewhere. But if there's not a body count, that's not sexy to the news. And so, unfortunately, it's what society we live in, right?
No, you're absolutely right, which is really a disgusting problem.
So I could see this, and I could see kids goofing with it, but teachers, I think one in every classroom, boy, on their keychain, if they're mobile with it, I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer too.
Yeah, absolutely. And in a situation where there's a false alarm, if there's somebody that doesn't have the maturity to use it properly, obviously we're going to take it away from them. And that's only going to take one time to, to be like, well, you might be too young. Or if the police do come, college students are a big market for us. You don't want the police coming.
No, you don't want the
as
campus
college,
police coming either, believe me.
You don't want any authority at all to be coming.
Well, again, if somebody stole this, it's not going to work because you don't have the app on your phone. If they're not in proximity to your phone, it's not going to work. So those are kind of safety switches, so to speak,
exactly.
too. This is really cool. Now remember, 50% off, $100 a year, buys this and your subscription forever.
Forever. Yeah.
You guys can't beat that. I mean, that's awesome. Why don't we take a break? I'll set the GoPro up and see if we can maybe shoot the laptop or shoot the screen and see if we can show some of the little demos and stuff.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, back in a minute on Security Guy Radio. All right, welcome back to Security Guy Radio. Adam from Guard Llama. We're going to do a little demo on the laptop, kind of show you things about how it works and go from there. So take it away.
Yeah, so the demo is actually pretty easy, and that's one of the best things about this system is the ease of use. And that kind of goes into what the name of Guard Llama is. So we were looking at names for this company, and I know Guard Llama doesn't sound like something you really want protecting you.
It doesn't strike fear into the hearts of criminals.
It doesn't.
Although llamas are pretty nasty with all that spitting.
They are, yeah, they are actually
better than Guard
incredibly
alpaca.
nasty. Exactly,
Easier to say.
or a Guard donkey. Want to stay away from that, which is actually a good guard animal too, but not a good company name. So when we saw these Guard llamas when they were introduced in the flocks of sheep, they were not trained on how to guard, but they found that the very first year the llamas were introduced, they lost 10% less sheep. So it went from 11% of the flock lost to 1% of the flock.
Really?
So they were incredibly easy to use, very protective of their owners, and very protective of everything around them.
That's amazing.
So it was really, it kind of spoke to us.
I'm just teasing you. It's a good name.
Yeah, well, if you know
name.
what it is, we like it. It's memorable.
Exactly.
For sure. So we'll click on this video real quick. I'll show you how it works. Now this is it's about a 30-second video. It's not too long. Let me see if I can got the volume up all the way. Something. Is this?
On the Guard Llama security remote to activate the Guard Llama application.
Let's try that again.
All right.
In the event of an attack, simply press the button on the Guard Llama security remote to activate the Guard Llama application. As quickly as a text message, your personal profile and GPS location are transmitted to Guard Llama's Emergency Response Center. Police can send help to your exact location and know who they are looking for. Once the situation is resolved, Guard Llama disables GPS tracking and ensures the safety and protection of your personal information. Guard Llama will never track you unless you have activated an emergency alert and promises to never share your personal information with anyone.
I think that was really important over the past.
That's a big one.
Past couple of years.
People object to that a lot.
Absolutely, and that's we have all your data is encrypted very heavily. We don't share it with anybody except for the police in the event of emergency, and we certainly don't track you. We actually don't even have the ability to do that if we wanted to.
Yeah, that's good. That's very. A lot of the apps want all the information and access to your photos because they're going to take a photo of you and stuff. This is just down and dirty, simple.
It's simple,
and it works.
That's
the best part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's that's really it. Just being as simple as possible.
So we're going to go to www.guard Llama LL.
It's actually www.theguardllama.com. Yeah.
All right.
Like the Facebook.
All right.
We'll go Guard Llama eventually.
The Guard Llama. LLAMA.
Two
L's.
All right. GUARD. And this is just some of our segments. Again, real estate, students, taxi drivers, and runners. Those are some of our biggest. We get testimonials in just about once a day of people saying how thankful they are. So we have about 2,500 customers since launching officially in August,
fabulous.
Which is.
Do you have an activation? Once a day, once a week, or what?
For an actual
activations. How many a month you get?
I would say real dispatchable activations. I would say 3 or 4 a month.
That's interesting. All right.
Yeah, so
it's working.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And we also have the ability to. You can press 0 when after the automated dispatch comes in, and our dispatcher is actually going to give you a call. So when they give you a call, you can talk to them and say, "Hey, I'm in an uncomfortable situation. I just needed a phone call. I want to make sure you guys have my location right. If anything happens to me, if I hang up without giving you my disarm code, send the police."
Yeah.
So that's really helpful.
And this $149 a year is really $100 a year. No, $99 a year for the Security Guy Radio 50% discount.
Security Guy Radio. Enter it in the promo code here. I'll show you in a sec.
Oh yeah, here we go.
If you enter the promo code Security Guy Radio into the annual plan, it's only going to work for the annual plan.
Right.
But you see the remote cost is $50 and the per year cost is $150. So you guys are getting one of the best deals we've ever given.
For the life of your use for $99 a year. That's fabulous.
Absolutely, not bad at all for 24/7 protection.
All right, website one more time.
Yeah, we can.
Let's go back and see that.
Back here. Might have to exit full screen. Click back.
TheGuardLllama.com.
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 We also have some good content. I'm sure it's not as good as your security content, but we have some. We have a few guest speakers, guest bloggers every once in a while. Pros in the security world that come in and do some blogs. So it's it's a really cool thing.
All right, cool. Adam, thanks for coming on Security Guy Radio. This has been great. We'll get this up soon.
Perfect.
And put it out on all our social media platforms, and let's go sell these. This is probably one of my favorite products I've ever seen.
Awesome.
Thank
you
fabulous.
so much, Chuck. I really appreciate
you coming on the show, Adam.
Yeah, thanks for coming out to Chicago.
All right. Bye.
Bye.